The Gernsback, and last I left off, I have been continuing on chipping and weathering the Gernsback itself, and I went ahead and got the weapons painted, and I slowly starting to chip them. Now these won't be really weathered as like the armor, but there is a fair amount of little wear on the weapons, which I like to do. And you can see some of the chipping on there. Got the sling mostly painted. There's a couple spots I gotta go back over and finish painting that. But anyway, I wanted to get his weapon on, and you know, so I can see where chipping is. You know, where the his hand hits it and everything. And this may sound crazy, but I need to start working on the base for the diorama because I need to get the figure mounted. And for me, I like to get a model painted to a point, and then I like to get it mounted to the base, because then I like to add the rest of the weathering on the figure or vehicle once I get the base started. That way I can choose what kind of pigments I'm going to do for the ground. I can see where it's going to be on the legs and some of the arms, and then whatever I add, like some debris, like a robot armor, or something that in the ground. And I want to add some bullet shells on that too. But anyway, it's kind of crazy, but I want to get him mounted, and he'll be a little bit more easier to work with once he's mounted on the base, and then I can put him on my trusty old Tamiya stand, and then I can turn him, and then I can make sure I don't miss anything, and I can get the weathering done on him. But anyway, that's where I am on Mr. Gernsback. Oh, I did add a little color on him, if y'all ain't seen that. I thought the little red stripe just give him a little just a little splash color, which I think makes him look pretty darn slick. But anyway, Gernsback is taking shape. But on the base, one thing I do when I start doing groundwork is, where's Mr. Drill at? I take Mr. Drill. Now I'll have to get a bigger bit. Now I'll drill about 4 to 6 holes in here, just in the base. Oh, about that deep. And that's for the ground material to actually be snug on the base. And there's not a right way or wrong way you can do it. You can use Avia's epoxy sculpt, which I've used that. I've used Bondo filler for groundwork, but this one I'm going to use paper mache, which you can get this at the craft store. You get you a big bag, plus if you got a 40% coupon, brings price on down. You mix that with water, but it has a tendency, it wants to curl up. It's like a bowl. Once you the trick with paper mache and or anything of this type of material, you just need to put with water and basically douse it with glue. I use white glue. Wood glue's pretty much glue I like to use with paper mache, but white glue works because you're not doing a really big surface, and I like the texture that the paper mache does. It looks ground, and I like to embed the groundwork, which my trusty old sack of kitty litter, actual dirt outside, because it's actually just a variety of material that I grabbed just to make groundwork. And once I mix that up, and I'll try to get this on the base, and I'll show you with that on there. I don't want to bore everyone me mixing it up, because it's not that hard. It's just a nice stuff to work with, and then you can sculpt it, how you want to. It gives it an even terrain, because that's the way ground is. It ain't just solid flat. But anyway, I wanted to show everyone that because I'm going to drill a couple holes. That way that will get in there and bite into it, and then I'll mix the groundwork and embed it a little bit, and then I'll be able to get Mr. Gernsback's feet prints into the paper mache. And that's what I want to do on that. Get him get the base on there, get his footprints, let that dry, and then I'll go back in and paint it, and then get him glued down, and then I'll be able to work on the rest of the weathering on him, because I want to around his feet, and where it depends on what I add on it, because sometimes on dioramas I like to make it up as you go along, and just makes it much more, makes it exciting. But one thing on the base, I got it polyurethaned, and then it needs to dry one more day. Then I'm going to take tape, like I'm showing you right here, and I'm going to tape it all the way around. That way it keeps your diorama material square, and you won't get any overspray when you airbrush the groundwork. But anyway, we're not there yet, but we're getting close to starting the diorama. Ball tank, same way. I went ahead and started filling in a few little areas that I just couldn't get. I couldn't get the track to fit for some reason. Mr. Tulip, he's filling that. So once I get that, I got a couple more places like there. Fill that up, look him over, and then I'll probably shoot him some primer this weekend. But I want to do this base, and I want to do the new base for the ball tank as well, putting the diorama material, because I got the hole drilled out for the battery, the hole drilled to put the wires through, and we'll be able to do something like so. Anyway, I need to get the material on so I can roll the track on there, so it'll look like you know, it was rolling through the ground. But anyway, that's what I've got going on today. We are continuing on with the Gernsback, and we are going to start doing a little bit of diorama work on the ball tank and the Gernsback. So that's what I got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.